Hey guys, it's JH, welcome to the practice tee. Haven't been able to get out for a long time guys, the weather's been so bad and it's not much better today. But I just want to talk about a couple of different things today and not so much carrying on with the wrecking ball pivot process, but I will in the coming week. It's just that I want to just do something today, just trying some audio settings and just want to do some stuff, not specific. But guys, something that I've had a lot of requests for in lessons over the years. People will come in and say, JH, I hit the ball okay, but I just can't hit a draw. And the better players tend to hit a draw. How do I hit a draw? How do I hit it in terms of the process? And guys, I used to have a very, very simplistic manner of getting across the path that you need to have to hit a draw. In order to hit a draw, we've got to have the path from in to out at impact, and we've got to have a little bit of closure on the face. Now my normal attack path is about 6 to 8 degrees in to out normally, and I've got about 3 or 4 degrees closure on the club face. When I say closure on the club face, what does that mean? If that's square guys, that's about 3 degrees. That's square, that's about 3 degrees. It's not much. Because if you don't have the closure on the face, when you're attacking the ball in to out on that in to out path, if there's no closure on the face, the ball is basically going to start a little bit right of your target line if you're a right-hander, and it'll continue on out there because that's the path and face direction. So what we have to do is have a compensator against the path, and that is the face angle. If we can close the face angle to the path, we'll get the ball starting in that direction, but then picking up the type of spin that it needs to create the draw. Now what is very important guys is once we've got our stance set up here and we're going to get that club face closed so that we can have the in to out path with a closed club face, do the closure amount by just turning the club face before you take your grip. I don't want you to have it square and then just turn your hands to have it closed, because that's putting your hands in the wrong position. And that means that you've got to do something deliberately with your hands coming through to close the face up. We want the club face closed naturally, and that is just close it naturally and then take your grip. So close the club face and then take your grip. That's just a little geometry lesson in terms of path and face. Now the other thing guys, and this is what I used to teach, just tee a golf ball up. Sorry to walk away guys. Tee a golf ball up like that. If I'm going to hit this way in this direction here, tee a golf ball up and then put another tee, another bright tee, and put that tee, I'll show you from this line here, put that tee, if that's our target line there, put the tee at about 30 or 40 degrees to the right of the ball's position at address, and that would make it about there. There's our target line, there's our tee line. Now guys, the reason we do that is because it's very hard. People say, well, how do I get that in to out path? What do I do? How do I program it? Well guys, the brain's an amazing thing, and relative to what it gets the body to do through suggestion. Now if I set up like that and I want to make sure that I've got an in to out path on the shot, as soon as I think, okay, I have to get the golf club to travel in a direction here that is going to hit the golf ball, but take that tee out of the ground after it hits the golf ball. Just put the tee up high in the air. Now in order to do that, the brain will work out what the body has to do in order to get that attack angle of in to out. Because it's got the visual cue of that tee that's in front of the golf ball and set at a tangential angle to the flight line. Now it can see that. And if it knows that the club has to move in that direction there, it will put in place, guys, a biomechanical program that will accomplish that feat or that process. So what we're trying to do, and maybe you don't need it at 30 degrees, maybe you only need it at 20 degrees. That's about 30, this is about 20. But you've got to knock that tee out of the ground. Now in any golf shot, particularly with an iron, the club, if that's our golf ball at impact, the club is still going to be about at that level post impact. Most of the times it'll be going down into the ground. So you can put that tee 2 or 3 inches past the ball. And then guys, all you've got to do is just swing and take that tee out of the ground. And then immediately, if you can take that tee out of the ground after you've lined up on the target, which is this direction here, you automatically know that your swing path had to be in to out. Now I used that process in my teaching for years, and it was 100% successful. I also had another process where I had some golf balls where I had them painted in 4 sections, in 4 quadrants, like a red, a green, a blue and a white. And I would put the golf ball on the tee, and I used to say to people, the only difference between most of you club players and myself and other better players and better ball strikers is that we hit the ball in a different place to you guys, because we basically play with a draw. And they used to say, what do you mean, JH? I'd say, well, you guys basically hit in the back of the ball there, or a little bit on the outside of the centre line of that golf ball. Show that a little bit closer. There's the centre line of the golf ball. The club player invariably will hit it on that centre line there, or just outside it. Whereas when I had the balls painted, they had a quadrant here. Now this might be the green quadrant. And I say to people, guys, now the only difference is you guys hit it on that quadrant there, or there. You've got to hit it on this quadrant here, which meant that the club had to attack the ball inside to out to hit it on that quadrant. And I said the only difference is that you guys hit it on a different part of the golf ball. You've got to hit it on that inside quadrant of the golf ball, which means your path has to be in to out in order to do that. You can't hit it on that quadrant. Whereas most of the time the club players get over it and they'll hit it, to the outside of that centre line, which means it's on the other quadrant here, where you can't possibly draw the ball from there. Not possible. So that was something else I used to do, guys. And the coloured ball worked fantastic for some people. I'll just move the buggy out of the way. Sorry guys to walk off, but when you've got no directors or or whatever, trying to make something. Very cold today, guys. Okay, so what do we want to do? If we were going to hit a straight shot, the club would be going in this direction here. If we want to hit a draw, it has to be moving in this direction here, and the club face has to be closed down a little bit. So all you have to do, guys, is work out a way, just look, go through a mental gymnastics approach, and you say, okay, how does my body, and just do this, guys, just before you hit it, just go, how do I take that tee out of the ground there, and get the club moving like this, get the club moving like that. Now immediately, two things happen. The club is going to track from in to out, and your shoulders are going to be closed when you hit the ball. And depending on the amount of closure you have, on the club faces will dictate how much the ball will draw. Now guys, I haven't hit a shot today. So this is it. Now that's about, I don't know, for me that's about 20 degrees. And I'll put the tee up in the air so you can see the tee. That's the target line, that's the tee line. We have to be on the tee. First shot of the day, and here's our secondary tee. But see that ball? If you could see that ball had a nice right to left draw on it. Now it's a simplistic way, guys, of just training your brain to do that. I'll hit one this way.